The Mercury News is a morning daily newspaper published in San Jose, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area. It is published by the Bay Area News Group, a subsidiary of Digital First Media. As of March 2013, it was the fifth largest daily newspaper in the United States, with a daily circulation of 611,194. As of 2018, the paper has a circulation of 324,500 daily and 415,200 on Sundays. As of 2021, this further declined. The Bay Area News Group no longer reports its circulation, but rather, readership. For 2021, they reported a readership of 312,700 adults daily. First published in 1851, the Mercury News is the last remaining English-language daily newspaper covering the Santa Clara Valley. It became the Mercury News in 1983 after a series of mergers. During much of the 20th century, it was owned by Knight Ridder. Because of its location in Silicon Valley, the Mercury News has covered many of the key events in the history of computing, and was a pioneer in delivering news online. It was the first American newspaper to publish in 3 languages. The paper's name derives from the San Jose Mercury and San Jose News, 2 daily newspapers that merged to form the Mercury News. The San Jose Mercury's name was a double entendre. The word mercury refers to the importance of the mercury industry during the California gold rush. At the time, the nearby New Almaden mine was North America's largest producer of mercury, which was needed for hydraulic gold mining. In addition, Mercury is the Roman messenger of the gods as well as the god of commerce and thieves, known for his swiftness. So the name Mercury is commonly used for newspapers without the Quicksilver association. The paper's local coverage and circulation is concentrated in Santa Clara County and San Mateo County, with the Mercury News, East Bay Times, Marin Independent Journal, and Silicon Valley community newspapers. The Bay Area News Group covers much of the San Francisco Bay Area with the notable exception of San Francisco itself. The Mercury News's predecessor, the Weekly Visitor, began as a Whig paper in the early 1850s but quickly switched its affiliation to the Democratic Party. The paper remained a conservative voice through the mid-20th century, when it supported pro-growth city leaders and pursued a staunchly pro-growth, anti-union agenda. It became considerably more moderate in the 1970s, reflecting new ownership and changes to the local political landscape. It endorsed John B. Anderson for president in 1980 and has endorsed Democratic presidential candidates in every election since 1992. The newspaper, now known as the Mercury News, began in 1851 or 1852. California legislators had just moved the state capital from San Jose to Vallejo, leading to the failure of San Jose's first 2 newspapers, the Argus and State Journal. A group of 3 businessmen led by John C. Emerson bought the paper's presses to found the San Jose Weekly Visitor. The Weekly Visitor began as a Whig paper but quickly switched its affiliation to the Democratic Party. It was renamed the Santa Clara Register in 1852. The following year, F. B. Murdoch took over the paper, merging it into the San Jose Telegraph. W. E. Slocum assumed control of the Telegraph in 1860 and merged it with the San Jose Mercury, a weekly Mercury, to become the Telegraph and Mercury. William N. Slocum soon dropped Telegraph from the name. By this point, the Mercury was one of 2 newspapers publishing in San Jose. James Jerome Owen, a 49er and former Republican New York Assemblyman, became the Mercury's publisher in the spring of 1861. Later acquiring a controlling interest in the paper along with a partner, Benjamin H. Cottle. The paper published daily as the San Jose Daily Mercury for 3 months in the fall of 1861. Then from August 1869 to April 1870 with the addition of J. Conmee as partner, and again from March 11, 1872, after the purchase of the Daily Guide. In 1878, Owen formed the Mercury Printing and Publishing Company. In 1881, Owen proposed to light San Jose with a moonlight tower. The San Jose Electric Light Tower was dedicated that year. The Mercury boasted that San Jose was the first town west of the Rocky Mountains lighted by electricity. The Mercury merged with the Times Publishing Company in 1884. The Daily Morning Times and Daily Mercury briefly became the Times Mercury, while the Weekly Times and Weekly Mercury briefly became the Times Weekly Mercury. In 1885, both publications adopted the San Jose Mercury name. That year, Owen sold his interest in the paper and moved to San Francisco. In late 1900, Everett A. Hayes and his brother Jay purchased the Mercury. Then, in August 1901, they purchased the San Jose Daily Herald, an evening paper, and formed the Mercury Herald Company. In 1913, the two papers were consolidated into a single morning paper, the San Jose Mercury Herald. In 1942, the Mercury Herald Company purchased the San Jose News but continued to publish both pap